Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Dolly Wall still trying to figure out what BFF means.
Well, why would you say BB or BFF?
BFF.
Just say best friend.
Okay.
He's my best friend. Why BB or BFF?
Best friend forever. It's even more than just a best friend. It's best friend forever.
Just stop.
That's what we called Thomas Drance. A reminder, all of our guests today brought to you by Whistler, the Whistler Golf Club, the Arnold Palmer designed Whistler Golf Club. Proud to be a sponsor of Donnie and Dolly throughout their extensive golf course renovation. Looking forward to welcoming guests back in the summer of 2027. Whistler, a beautiful place. Another beautiful place, Penticton. That's where we find Thomas Drance from the Athletic and Sportsnet 650. Thomas, how are you, sir? Oh, did he just log out of the Zoom?
He logged out, or
he was ready.
Nina cut him off.
No, he left, right? So this is 2 weeks in a row. We're trying to run a smooth operation here without Donnie. Nina's there, I'm here, and 2 weeks in a row we've had issues with Thomas. And he looked like he was ready to go,
and we had issues beforehand yesterday. These guys going up to Penticton.
Penticton is causing problems.
It's just
Drance is back. Thomas, take two.
Let's see.
Aha! There it is.
There
it is. Yeah, we're all good.
On air? All right.
Yeah.
Woo! Good. Yeah, well, great. Penticton's lovely. It's like 27 degrees out every day, sunny.
Nice.
A delightful way to end the summer and sort of get into the rhythms of hockey season. Canucks training camp has obviously been interesting already, and we're just one day in. And it's great to be with you guys today.
Training camp day 2 just getting underway, but from training camp day 1, Thomas, who was your standout player?
Yeah, so I know everyone wants to hear about the star guys, but here's the truth. The star players don't have as much at stake as the guys fighting for jobs at the fringes of an NHL roster. That's just how it is. And as you know from watching February games against Nashville over the course of, all of our hockey fan lives, effort goes a long way in this sport, right? That you can't compete with a team that's outworking you or a player that's outworking you. So, star players obviously stand out because they can do incredibly special things here and there. But for the most part, the standouts yesterday are guys like Linus Karlsson, whose speed looks improved, who looks like he spent some real time working on that core. Max Sasson, who's bringing a level of sort of grit and battle to some of his one-on-one drills that, he probably needs to show, especially if he's going to play center. And I thought it was interesting that the Canucks started him there in terms of their initial sort of Group B lineup on Thursday. And then, you've got guys like P.O. Joseph. Like, you want to know who this year's PDG is? Training Camp All-Star? It's P.O. Joseph. P.O. Joseph looks incredible out there. And that's, again, to be expected. That guy's got a lot at stake in terms of showing well to a new organization over the course of this weekend in Penticton. And
this guy, I tell you, boy, oh boy, yesterday forehand.
It's just unbelievable.
What is going on with these guys?
I am
knowing where technology is today.
Yeah.
Knowing where technology is today. We've got guys from Sweden. Remember Lekkerimäki's coach? We interviewed him a couple of years ago in Sweden. Is he back?
He's back again? Thomas?
Yeah, I don't think it's my internet. My internet seems fine. It's just the Zoom seems to click out very suddenly.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll figure it out, and we'll make do. If I lose you again, I'll call back.
Okay,
all
right.
But yeah. So, no, it's those guys that are standing out. I'd add one note that might be exciting to Canucks fans, and that's, at the end of sort of the Group B session yesterday, they're doing some one-on-one and two-on-two down-low battle drills, and Philip Hedl was eating Checker's lunch. I mean, scoring absolute highlight reel goals, a backhand while protecting the puck that just beat Ty Young top corner, another double wraparound where he circled the net and had the goalie beat and had his Checker beat, but then circled the net again for good measure, kind of did like a double Wendell Clark. It had me laughing. It was the sort of rep that had me legitimately laughing in the stands. It was so sick. So he's shown well among sort of the higher stature guys in the early going.
One name you didn't mention there, or you might have when you were gone, but Harmon Dial was all over this yesterday. Braden Coots, Thomas, what did he show you in day 1 of training camp?
Well, his skating is potentially special. I mean, there's going to be some work to be done there as he matures, right? It's not unusual for an 18-year-old player to add a step between 19 and 20, but he's already an NHL caliber skater with the potential to be like special fast, plus skater, as he adds sort of, core strength and muscle onto his frame. He's a special mover out there. And then, in some of those rush drills, that shot plays, and it looks absolutely sick. So, yeah, I mean, there were obviously some size limitations in some of the down low battle drills. Willander muscled him off the puck at one point, which, you'd hope to see, I think, if you're a Canucks fan. In other situations, he fared pretty well along the wall in a battle with Brock Besser.
All right, Thomas, let me get in a question before we cut you off for good. The two guys that I want to really keep my eye on at this camp, Lekkerimaki and Willander. If the Canucks are 15, 20 games into the regular season and that second line, center spot's not working and they got to make a big trade, these two guys possibly could be on their way out. How have they been in the camp so far in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, Lekkerimaki and Willander are both getting plum opportunities, right? Willander skating alongside Derek Forbert, in contrast, for example, to Victor Mancini skating with a gentleman named Nizov, and of course, Elias Pettersson skating with Parker Alkos, a player who's likely going back to the WHL for his overage season. So, obviously that can be seen as a vote of confidence, but it can also be seen as the organization, deciding that in his first professional training camp, they wanted to give him some, credible NHL level insulation, whereas maybe Pettersson and Mancini, two guys who played a little more pro hockey, can sort of carry their own pair in a training camp environment. Neither made a huge impression on me on day one, to be totally honest with you. Lekkerimaki had a short summer, which was challenging. I didn't see like the sort of exponential growth in the power of his stride, for example, that I do think he's going to need to make in time. But getting a shot with Needle and Kane, certainly opens the door for him. I still think he's a player that the Canucks are willing and expecting to be a little bit more patient with. He's definitely going to be in the mix for one of those middle six jobs, but I don't know that he's the front runner insofar as maybe the way he's lined up in line rushes might suggest. So we'll sort of see how that one goes. As for Willander, looked pretty good in the 2-on-2 and 1-on-1 battle drills, but, having seen him play a lot, both at BU and down in Seattle at the Prospects tournament, I really think preseason and the scrimmage tomorrow on Saturday at the South Okanagan Event Center will be more instructive. We know he's fast. We know he's strong. We know he can win races to pucks and break up cycle possessions. So the battle drills down low are like tailor-made for him. It's sort of the team game, feeling pressure, handling the puck, that I think are going to be that are going to determine his fate in terms of whether or not he's NHL ready off the hop or whether he might need some more seasoning to open this year.
Another prospect that is very important in my eyes is Atu Ratu, because he's got to steal one of the center spots, because he's not going to have a better opportunity than right now to steal a center spot. Can he do it, Thomas?
I think so. I mean, I think he's got the inside track as training camp opens. He took such major strides as a skater year over year last summer, but he had a short summer that was even shorter because he ended the year injured and spent at least some of his summer, in recovery mode. And I do think that's shown. Like, I don't think he's made the same step, the same exponential improvement as a skater as he did last summer. And of course not. I mean, short summer, and he went into it injured, right? It's a different beast entirely. It wasn't reasonable to expect him to continue to ascend as a mover, I don't think, in the wake of this offseason. Look, I still like his game. I think the Canucks are very comfortable with his game. This coaching staff, in sort of figuring through or working through priorities this summer, watched a lot of tape from last year, the end of last season, and Ratu's development, his play in that last 20 games or so of the season, I think made this organization comfortable with the idea that they could hold the fort with their current centerman. So I still think the opportunity looms for Ratu, but just given sort of the nature of his offseason and some of what he dealt with throughout it, not to mention the fact that it was truncated by the Calder Cup playoffs and remaining with Abbotsford and rehabbing throughout. I'm not surprised that he hasn't necessarily come into camp and looked faster than he did last season. And, he's a player for whom his feet will be his fate, right? If he can move fast enough, he's got everything else, the intelligence, the size, the skill level, the face-off winning, to be a top 9 center in this league. But that requires the feet to play, and he doesn't have to be a plus skater, but he has to be passable to make it work. I think he will be. I think he is. But, it's not like he's taken a huge step in that area, at least based on what I saw of his skating mechanics and rush drills and such on day one of Canucks training camp.
One final one, Thomas, quickly, if you can, 1 minute or so. We played some clips of Thatcher Demko in the first segment. One thing he said yesterday, he hadn't really talked to Adam Foote yet about deployment this year with him and Kevin Lankinen. How do you see the net being split for the Canucks this year?
Yeah, I think pretty aggressively the team is very focused on how condensed the schedule is going to be with the Olympics. I think 50 is sort of the target organizationally for Thatcher Demko with Lankinen at sort of like 32. But obviously those are the best laid plans, right? We're used to seeing goalie injuries scrap those plans in a hurry. That's how this works. Obviously losing streaks and performance will dictate some as well. It's going to take some discipline. We've seen it year after year where the Canucks really need a win or they get into a stretch where they need to get hot. And what happens? Coaches start to ride Thatcher Demko. We've seen it year after year, coach after coach. So whatever the club plans to do, right, there's a difference between executing that plan and having it at the moment. But 50-32 is what the organization is thinking based on what I'm hearing behind the scenes.
Thomas, we had you on Zoom. We had you on the phone. You're multifaceted. And we appreciate you joining us, as usual, on a Friday morning. Thanks, Thomas.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's the Drance interview 2 ways.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for having me.